Welcome, Cleveland County, to the month of July's show. We are in the field today with Leif Hamrick. I'm Deborah Blanton, hosting the show, Cleveland County Kitchen. And we're in the middle of your cornfield. We're highlighting corn for the month of July. And Leif, I think you're a part-time farmer. Could we say that?
You could say that.
All right.
Grew up with a family farm and been in the landscaping industry, so I've always had a connection to growing things and things like that.
So, let's look at your beautiful corn here.
All right.
I know it's been so dry, and I'm just curious how you can have wonderful corn.
Okay. Well, fortunately, we're on a river bottom here. I say river, it's actually Sandy Run Creek. So when I bought the property several years ago, that was a big draw to me to be able to have water, close by. So I initially installed this overhead irrigation, and I can pull water straight out of Sandy Run, and I can just fill up my pump with gas, and I can actually leave and just let the pump run out of gas. It'll run a couple hours, so I'm able to put plenty of water on it, and it's not municipal type water.
Right,
it's good creek water, so
right.
It's been a blessing.
Well, we're going to show our viewers how you irrigate,
Okay.
but while we're still here, I thought it would be helpful to show our viewers how you actually would pull some corn and how you do that.
Sure. Okay. Well, my process, I've got several friends that help me, and we'll each take 2 rows as we go down. We'll take 5-gallon buckets, and I'll have my machinery out here, my Caterpillar machine, and we'll dump the buckets in that. And then we'll go right over here, and we'll bag it up into 5 dozen sacks.
Okay.
The one thing I do that I think makes it a little bit fresher or better, but we just walk down through here, and I'll just pick some random ears. I grow just straight Silver Queen. I don't grow any of the GMO type things.
That's
it's pretty organic.
Good for people to know that.
I don't spray for worms, so you might get an ear that has a worm occasionally, but
we'll either consider that as extra protein or pick him out.
don't charge any extra for the worm. That's what we tell people. And so so we just pull it and get in the sacks and get in the cooler as quick as we can. So we've been eating on it already this year, and it seems to be really good.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, great. One other really important part of picking corn is when to know what you're supposed to pick and what you're not. So if you want to describe what is ready to go, it'd be great.
Absolutely. So some of this corn on the edges maybe doesn't quite get as much water or something, so I have some variation here. But for the homeowner, as you can see, these obviously not ready. The first thing I start looking for is a black silk that is really dry and brown, and this is actually not one either. I'll show you one in just a second. So this would be really early on. This is not quite ready, and Greg, right here, it's one that this is the type of silk that I would look for, that looks dried. It hangs, it looks almost crispy. That's one indicator that, all right, this ear is pretty close.
Right. And then also it probably feels fuller than either one of those two.
That's exactly right. And with experience going down through here, there's oftentimes I'll grab an ear and just leave it and catch it the next time through. So we'll go through several times, picking the corn.
Several times at one time, or several days between picking?
Several days apart. So we'll go through first and get the stuff that's really ready. Let these smaller ears continue to grow. Then we'll do a second walkthrough. It's much quicker. And get the ears that were left. It's personal preference as far as how people like to eat it. As far as the age of the corn, I like mine when it's very young and early and the kernels are smaller.
So this would be maybe too big for you.
That's too big for me. A lot of people like it more mature. My mother, actually, that's the way she prefers it. I prefer it a little bit younger.
Oh, okay.
You can see a little bit of evidence of some worm on here. A lot of people like to take it up and kind of puncture an ear, or a kernel rather.
Oh, and then if there's milk that comes out, it's good and ready. Okay.
Exactly. So That's just a couple of ways that you can tell when it's ready to go.
Leif,
Yes.
thank you so much for showing us your wonderful corn.
Absolutely.
And we're excited to cook it in the kitchen and to learn more about it. So please stay tuned, Cleveland County. We'll be with Nancy Abasi-Akong, and we'll be learning about the nutritional value of this wonderful vegetable.
Right here, right now, right here, right now.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how, visit the partnership at drugfree.org.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. We're in the studio of Cleveland Community College, and I'm here today with Nancy Abasi-Akong. She is the Cooperative Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences Department.
Yes.
We've just discussed it's a long term, but we're here talking about our wonderful corn that is just ready in the month of July. We've just been to the farmer and saw how he picks it and how he selects what he picks. So let's talk about when we get it home after we've purchased it at the farmer's market or at the grocery store.
Okay. Yes, Deborah. Certainly corn and sweet corn, it will be listed as sweet corn, is one of the summertime favorites. Lots of us look forward to that. And I was at the farmer's market and it was flying off the tables there this past Saturday. But when you get corn home, remember that it is a perishable item. And because you want it to be sweet, you want to use it within 1 to 2 days. That same day, if possible, plan to use what you have purchased. But if not, you can place the corn in a plastic bag and put it in the crisper section of your refrigerator.
Okay.
But again, don't forget about it. Use it within 1 to 2 days for maximum sweetness. Otherwise, the sugar turns to starch.
Oh.
And that's why you lose some of that freshness and that sweetness that we're looking for.
Okay. But now, and in the crisper, is it better to buy corn with the husk on
Yes.
or with it removed?
With the husk on.
Okay.
Leave the husk on. And when you put it in the refrigerator, also leave the husk on.
Okay.
So that all of those, the husk, the silks, everything, is helping to keep the moisture in. Because, again, you don't want it to dry out. So don't buy corn unless you are going right home to cook it that has been shucked, because, again, that's a protective layer for you.
Okay. Okay. Well, we get it out of the crisper, or we come home from the farmer's market, and then what do we do with it?
Well, now you're ready to shuck and silk and prepare. And corn, of course, can be prepared in lots of different ways. It can be boiled, microwaved, roasted, grilled. You can even eat it raw in salads.
Of
A
course.
delicious,
Sure.
or salsa. There are some salsa recipes that have fresh corn or raw corn. And on the extension page, our fact sheet that you will see on sweet corn, there will be a variety of recipes given. All corn on the cob, which is a really popular way over the summer, as well as some of these others. Even a corn medley. You can mix corn in with some other vegetables that are plentiful right now, such as your zucchini or other squash, onions, okra, tomatoes, lots of other things. And don't forget, you can always do a chowder, a corn chowder,
Oh, yes.
or corn pudding.
Right. Well, we discussed earlier about when you boil corn, if you want to do corn on the cob, what is probably the important thing that you would recommend that you don't do?
Well, when you're doing corn on the cob, if you're going to boil it, get your pot of water boiling, but don't salt the water. Often we think we need to go ahead and salt it, but don't do that, because if you do, it toughens the kernels.
Okay.
So you go salt or season the corn then when you serve it.
Right.
And we'll have a recipe again on the fact sheet that talks about how to cook corn. And this recipe has microwave recipe instructions.
Wow. As I was saying, that's the way I do my corn, in the microwave.
And you can't get faster than that. And again, you're not going to salt, but go ahead and remove the outer husk and as many of the silks as you can. Then wet the corn and pull the husk, the inner husk, back over the cob, over the corn kernels. Place them in a Ziploc type bag or a plastic bag and close it to within about an inch. Okay. And then microwave, depending on how many you have, you'll microwave on high for the number of minutes, again, based on the number of ears that you have. Okay. Then turn it. Be very careful. It'll be hot. Halfway through, turn the bag over.
Oh, okay.
And then finish your cooking time. But again, remember that you'll have steam and it will be very hot, so handle it with care with your hot mats and so forth.
Well, Nancy, I want to thank you so much for your knowledge about the preparation of corn. The nutritional value is going to be on the fact sheet that is also on the website. So we'll know all the good things that there are to know about wonderful corn. Remember, Cleveland County, stay tuned for our cooking part of the show involving the kitchen and a great new chef.
Hi, I'm Linda Hopper, and I'm excited about an upcoming new show called Woman to Woman, right here on C19 TV. Each month, my guest and I would chat about issues relating to women in general, but with a special focus on women right here in Cleveland County. Our topics will range from serious issues such as domestic violence and workplace challenges to fun topics such as fashion and healthy lifestyles and much, much more. So please join me as we discuss the issues, interests, and inspiration of women everywhere on Woman to Woman, right here on C19 TV.
Hi, I'm Steve Putnam, and I'd like to invite you to join me for the next Talk of the Town. Each week I get to meet with some of the most interesting people in Cleveland County. And each show is packed with information you need to know to stay connected to our community. From promoting upcoming events to discussing local subjects that impact you, Talk of the Town has a little something for everyone. Plus, we're on every day, so it's easy to catch up with us. That's Talk of the Town. Every day, every week, right here on C19 TV, Cleveland County's channel. Only on Time Warner Cable.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. As promised, we're in the Cooperative Extension's kitchen, and I'm here this afternoon with Stephen Ciliberti, who is a chef who has worked at several places in Cleveland County.
Yes.
And we're here today, as you already know, cooking our wonderful corn. So, Stephen, what do you have for us today?
Well, today what I'm going to prepare for you is a corn muffin, which is a standard corn muffin, as well as a southwestern style that's got a little bit of jalapeno and red bell pepper, which is, adds a little spice to everything. Also, too, I'm going to make a corn and black bean salsa.
Okay, good.
Okay, and we had some really great corn here from Cleveland County, and first thing I did is I grilled some of the corn for the salsa. It gives it that nice grilled taste, as well as it provides some color to the corn as well and brings out the sweetness a little bit better.
Okay.
Also, what I've done for our muffins is I've just prepared the way I normally prepare an ear of corn. Is I boiled it in water and let it cool off so that we can use that
and then,
in our
of
muffins.
course, just cut it off the cob.
Yes, we'll just cut it off the cob, and then we'll add it to our mixture here.
Okay.
And right now, we'll go ahead and get started with our muffin mix.
Okay, that sounds good.
And we'll start off here with our butter, I use butter instead of oil in these, and it just seems to give it a better flavor
Yes.
as well as it keeps them moister
I've got
than
the paper. Good. Okay.
things like
good
that.
deal. Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and add that. We'll get our sugar and put that in here.
And keeping in mind, all these recipes are on the Cooperative Extension's website.
Our sugar. And also, too, what I like to add some honey to it.
Oh.
And it's a little bit less, it gives a little bit less of the sugar, and then still add the sweetness to the batter as well.
I like your little heart-shaped measuring cups.
Something
That's
a little
really-
bit fancy instead of
Yes,
having
exactly.
shiny stainless steel ones.
Exactly.
So, and then we just add that to the mixture here.
And so we have a stick of butter. We have
A half cup of sugar, a quarter cup of the
honey.
honey,
Okay.
and we're going to go ahead and add our eggs to it. 2 eggs. And then we're going to cream it all together.
I'll take the eggshells.
There you
Okay,
go.
good,
And then
good.
you cream the mixture together before you add your flour to it. And it just helps. Put that on the side there.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and we
Ready
need
for your flour.
1.5 cups of flour.
And this is regular flour?
Regular bleached flour.
Okay.
And
Not self-rising or anything?
Not self-rising,
Okay.
no. Just regular flour. Now we're going to add our leavening to it separately. So,
Okay.
baking is an exact measurements and things like that we do. Now I'm going to add some plain old cornmeal.
Cornmeal. Okay.
Yep, plain old cornmeal.
Okay.
And that'll be just 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
So we'll add a half cup here. And then just about a 1/4 cup. About half of this.
Okay.
In
That's
there.
good. I can take care of that for you.
Now we're going to add our leaveners. Now since I'm using buttermilk in there instead of regular milk,
Okay.
I use a little bit of baking soda too as well. And that's just a half teaspoon of that. And because of the reaction that you get from your baking soda, it's activated with the
buttermilk.
buttermilk.
Okay.
And then just a half a teaspoon of baking powder.
Okay.
Now, I don't use self-rising cornmeal because the mixture sometimes are not exact with that, so it's better to have control over it and do it yourself. And then mix this up a little bit here. And then we're going to add our buttermilk. And just mix it up. And then we're going to put a half cup of buttermilk in here. Now the mixture is going to be a little bit thick, and
Okay.
but it just most cornbreads are. So now that we've got that all mixed up,
Okay.
we'll go ahead and spoon it into the.
And it is thick, as you'll see.
See here. Now we're going to take our spoons and we're going to put it in a pre-greased muffin pan. You can use liners, but sometimes liners are really hard to get off to the mix when you're done.
Oh, sure.
So it's about a tablespoon in each one of these. And then here we're going to do half and half. We're going to do 6 of these and then plain, and then we're going to add something a little bit spicy.
Oh, to the batter.
To the
that's
batter
left.
here, and we'll add a little bit of
Sure.
jalapeno and a little bit of diced red pepper.
Oh, that sounds good.
That'll,
Okay. That's great. Good idea.
So just gives a little spice, something a little bit different. So right now that we've got those done, we'll go ahead and prepare our, which we already have done here, some jalapenos. It's already been chopped and seeded. If you're really brave, leave the seeds in, and it makes it a lot more spicy. But here we're about a tablespoon of that, since we're only making a half a batter. And then we're going to take some red pepper, just diced red pepper, bell pepper, put that in there.
Okay.
And then we'll just add that to our batter and we'll mix it in.
Okay.
And not only that, but it adds a really nice color to it.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Absolutely.
So, and we'll mix it in by hand. You don't want to use the mixer to mix this in because it'll just
Chop it
all up and finer than what you want.
But you could do that if you didn't want these large pieces.
Right. Exactly. To the side, and we'll do the same thing as we did last time. Just put it in our pre-greased muffin pan.
Half and half.
Now the recipes that I gave are for full mix, full batters, and the mix will make a
These, what is
a 12.
The 12.
Yeah. So, and then you just want to put them in there. Don't overfill them because then they get too
Run
much.
over?
Run over the
They
top.
run over?
And you just want them to, and they'll rise nicely. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and place this into the oven.
In a preheated oven.
350 degree oven.
350 degrees.
On the middle rack.
Oh, that's important.
In the middle rack,
Middle rack,
Yeah.
okay. All
And
right, good.
also we'll do it for about 20 minutes.
All right.
Okay, is what it'll about take to do.
Okay.
So what we'll do there is we'll go ahead and clear our space, and then we'll get started with our
With our salsa.
salsa. Our corn, beautiful grilled corn salsa that we have. And
Okay.
we'll go from there. So, the corn, there's so many different varieties of corn, but this one here was just so sweet, too, and it really came out great.
This is the Silver Queen corn that I think everybody in Cleveland County knows
it's
about Silver Queen
Green corn, yeah. Just seems to grow well here in this area. So what we'll do for our corn salsa is I prepared and chopped up a lot of the things. The tomatoes, I prefer Roma tomatoes for this.
Oh, good.
They're a lot more meatier and less seeds. So what I did is I just cut it in half, took the seeds out, and put it in here because it doesn't
chopped
make it as watery and juicy.
And you left the skins on.
I left the skins on, yeah. Because and with the Roma tomatoes, it's a little better than a regular tomato. It's not as
Right.
bitey.
Right.
And then some roasted red pepper, no, just red pepper.
But you
And
could
you can roast it, yes. And just adds a little more color and it brings out the flavor a little more. But I prefer it raw because I like that raw taste in my salsa. And then, of course, our corn, our featured product today. And I took it, and what I did is I just peeled back the husk on the corn, and I laid it on the grill as high as I can go,
Okay.
and just got a little color to it.
Oh, so you peeled it and
I peeled it back and left the husk on the bottom here, and
Oh, certainly.
and then I just laid it on the grill and just let it roast. Keep turning it. This way, if you got a little handle on it.
Right.
As you're turning it on the grill.
Of course. What a great
And
idea.
it gives a nice color to it and really brings out the sweetness to the corn itself.
Great idea.
So that's what we have here. And what I did is I just took it and, when you cut it off the cob, you just go down and then just, don't dig too deep, and then just cut it off the cob.
Okay.
And that's what it is. That's pretty simple.
Good. It is. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So I have that here. This is the roasted corn from on the grill.
And it's looking like it's almost a cup of each one of these. Is that right?
Yeah, and the recipe's there. And you can adjust it to what you like. If you like a little more onion in your salsa or a little more pepper, you can do that too.
Certainly.
And, it's all according to how strong your onions are too, what you want to put in there. So
But the purple onions give it a nice
the
color.
red onions, yes. Everything is just so festive and so summery that it really
Which
works
is
well.
Salsa you want
Yes.
it to be.
And then here we've got our jalapeno,
Oh, yes.
diced and seeded. Not everybody likes it really too hot, but you know, jalapenos they can get really hot. And then here we cheated a little bit. 1 can
Yes.
of already prepared black beans.
Cooked is what
They're
you
already
say.
they're already in the can. You got to rinse them though in a colander.
All right.
Rinse them in a colander.
Right, to get all that
And
juice
the
off.
juice and stuff that it sits in. And then
Okay.
that's it there.
Good deal.
And then our cilantro.
Ah, yes.
We're going to get our cilantro. Now, a lot of people like to chop their cilantro in their thing. I'd like to leave it as whole as possible. Tearing it doesn't seem to let it bruise as much as
So there's more flavor of
to
the
it.
cilantro.
And it doesn't turn colors, even though you're going to put lime juice in it, things like that. Now, cilantro is another thing. A lot of people like it or they don't like it.
Correct.
I like a little bit of it and everything. I don't like it to overpower. But that's, of course, your taste and what you like. So then the final thing here before we season it is just some nice limes.
Okay.
Just squeeze some lime in there. Whoop, that's a juicy one. And then about a whole one will work in there,
Okay.
depending on how they are and how juicy and how big they are. And then this is what makes the actual sauce.
Oh,
for
the
your-
lime juice.
Yes.
Oh,
It adds that brightness and flavor to everything.
all right.
And then we'll go ahead here and we'll just add a little bit of our pepper to it, salt and pepper to it.
So we're about running out of time, Stephen, and so we're adding pepper.
Yeah, salt and pepper to taste.
Salt
salt.
to taste.
And then just mix it
we
up.
Mix it up.
Just mix it up and then we can use one of our cups here. Or here, we'll put it right here in this
Oh,
bowl.
that's even better.
And we can see what it looks like.
Okay.
Now we're right about now. Our muffins should be ready to come out of the oven.
Okay, so we have our salsa.
And here we have our muffins.
And we have our muffins.
And then what we have here is we have the salsa ones. And what we can do is we can get our little platter right here. We can pull them, be careful here.
Okay.
And then we can take one and just cut them open. And just see how nice and moist that they are.
Oh, they are.
And then you see
Okay.
the red and green.
Oh, they're beautiful. Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate
Well,
it.
you're welcome. Cleveland County, that's all for the month of July. We'll be working with okra next month, and we'll look for you then. Thank you for watching us.